Hey guys, this is Bobby from Nitro RCX, and I'm here to show you how to set up your carburetor. What I have here is a 0.28 nitro engine, also very similar to a 0.21 nitro engine. What I'm about to show you can also be applied to other vehicles, such as the engines with a 0.16 or a 0.18 engine. The first thing you do when you get the vehicle out the box is to check the carburetor. This is to prevent the car from running away from you when you first start the engine. Very crucial first step when you get your car. First thing you want to do is pull off your air filter. There will be a zip tie holding this on. You can just yank it off and take a quick peek inside the carburetor. You want it so that it's closed. If it's open, it will run away and it'll also be harder to start. You want to put batteries in your compartment, turn your transmitter on, turn the vehicle on, and check to see how your throttle servo is moving. If it's reversed like this, you flick the reverse switch on the transmitter. That way when you pull the trigger it opens, and when you brake it closes. Now to adjust this, you would adjust the trim on your transmitter. You can turn the dial left and right, make sure it's centered. If it's not centered, you want to take off the horn on the throttle servo, like so. You want to get this servo centered. You can center it by turning the throttle trim. You'll notice if you turn this throttle trim, your servo will be rotating, and get that trim centered. Once the servo's centered, you want to put this throttle horn on so that it does not engage the brakes and so that it closes your carburetor. Put it on. Usually when it's centered, it's like parallel to the servo. And then you want to double check that when you full throttle, it fully opens. When you let go, in neutral position, it closes, and that your brakes are not engaged. Very important. Once you have that set, you can test your brakes. Make sure your brakes do work. Pull back. Okay, once you have that set, you want to tighten that horn down. Okay, once it's tightened, double check again. Make sure full throttle fully opens the carburetor. When you brake, make sure your brakes do work. If your brakes aren't as tight as you want them to be, there's 1.5 millimeter Allen screws here. Top one adjusts the back brakes, as you can see. Bottom one adjusts the front brakes. If you loosen these and slide them closer in, you'll get stronger brakes. Most importantly is make sure that when your throttle is in the neutral position, it does roll back and forth. Also make sure that carburetor is closed. Throw the air filter back on and you're ready to go. And now this is your carburetor opening. You want to make sure that in the neutral position it's closed. If it's too far open, you'll idle very high. If it's way too open, the car will not start. If you do get it starting, it will run away from you. So you want to make sure it's closed. Also want to mention that this screw right here is your idle screw. If you turn it clockwise, it'll widen the carburetor opening. If you turn it counterclockwise, it'll close the carburetor opening. Now you can adjust this to determine the rate of how the carburetor closes. Now if you have it too far counterclockwise, like so, you notice that if you brake, the carburetor will close too much and that will kill your engine. Now if you have it too far open, your car is going to idle very high and it's going to keep rolling forward. So to find the right amount of opening, I like to set it so that opening is about 1 millimeter. About a 1 millimeter opening.